convertible is pretty ridiculous.
It is. Wait till you ride in it.
Oh.
Golly. Yeah, these tires are worthless. Second gear. I keep traction control on just to keep it from doing something stupid. Second gear is worthless. Third gear is eh.
Yeah, I saw some flames shoot out a couple times.
At nighttime, I bet you Michael will probably see some at night. We'll see. Let's go out on the street and go a little bit quicker. Guys, we are in Mike, aka Street Speed 717, his 2010 ZR1 Corvette. We completed it a few days ago. I have already done some test driving on it because this car is equipped with 93 octane and a flex fuel sensor for E85. I'm not gonna lie, the car still has the factory tires on it with wheels, and third gear and fourth gear in this car are pretty sketchy, so I'm gonna go do a test drive for you and talk to you all about the car. I probably won't do as much crazy stuff as I normally do with some of these other vehicles, just because this car has already gotten away from me pretty easily just in doing little third and fourth gear pulls with these tires on it. So I'll save that for Mike when he gets it back and he puts a tire on it. He can show y'all it rolling through the gears pretty hard, but I'm still gonna take y'all for a ride, talk to you about it, tell you what we did and so forth. Let's go. So we sent it down to us, obviously bone stock, 2010 ZR1, has 14,000 miles on it. It came to us with just a Borla catback only, everything else was 100% stock. It had a carbon fiber rear diffuser on it as well. Baseline numbers, I want to say were around 530 rear wheel horsepower. The goal for this project wasn't maximum horsepower. We wanted to bump it up, you know, 100, 150, maybe 200 plus rear wheel horsepower and still be very reliable. On 93 octane, I believe it was making a little over 650, 660 rear wheel horsepower. Again, very conservative. On flex, meaning on E85, it's making roughly 750 rear wheel horsepower. So we did get over 200 rear wheel horsepower gains. Obviously, I wanted 800 rear wheel horsepower, but the boost level was already set. I talked to Mike about it. He was happy with the numbers, so that's where we finished up. Again, with the tires that are on it right now, you'll see if I do try to get on it here in a little bit. It's hard to use what we got, but once he gets it home and puts a good tire on it, he'll be able to actually use it. And these cars from a second gear roll, if they hook, they really run. The power to weight ratio and the gear ratios of this transmission compared to the new stuff is completely different. So that being said, said, this car did get a, we'll call it a, 900 horsepower package or so. It has our custom grind cam kit, which is cams, springs, retainers, and push rods. It has a 1 7/8 header with a X pipe. Obviously the Borla catback, which is extremely loud. We did a Kong ported blower with a factory snout that has been ported, and then we also went with the big Kong carbon fiber cold air intake. That cold air intake is not fun to tune, but we got it. She's idling, driving very well. Wide open throttle, obviously, is the easy part. Idle and driving was the hardest. It did take me a couple days to get it lined out. Just from putting 93 octane in it to E85 in it, this car can go from, let's say, 15 degrees of timing, and in the computer sees the ethanol content. It'll add, again, round numbers here, 5 more degrees of timing to put 20 in it, let's say, to give us another 75 or 100 rear-wheel horsepower gain, which is what this car did. This car, 93 octane versus E85, is about 80 rear-wheel horsepower difference, which is huge. Talking rear-wheel horsepower, that's a 150 flywheel horsepower gain just from changing fuel. And of course, because it's Mike's car, I usually don't do this on the older cars. I don't mean to call it old, but it's a 10-year-old car. But Mike loves his verbal tunes, that he calls it. So let's see if y'all can hear this. I got it popping nice and good for him, so I know he's gonna enjoy that. Again, I don't do that to most of these cars, but Mike loves it, so again, I want to make the customers happy. I'll do what I can to do that. I'll do a quick little pull just to show you how bad this thing really is. And with the tire on it though, this thing will be so much fun. And I have a feeling, I know it doesn't sound like a lot of horsepower, but 750 with this car, when they hook up, it runs very well. We'll be able to run against cars, in my opinion, that make more horsepower than him, and I think we'll be able to hang with them, or at least be a good race with them. Second gear, I'm not even gonna try. Third gear, I'll roll into it, let's say about 3,500 RPMs. Traction control off, and if I just stabbed it, this car will be all over the place. And that actually felt pretty good. And it hooked up better than I thought it would compared to the last time I was playing with it. And again, I wasn't able to beat on him as much as I normally do before I send him back to him, just because of the tire it's on. I didn't want to get too crazy with it. Regular C6 or a C606, everyone thinks all we do is new Corvettes like C7s and C8s, but surprisingly, I actually enjoy doing these C6s. Don't tell everybody, but I like doing cars like this, and even the C606 is sometimes better than the new C7 stuff. Again, the power to weight ratio and the way these things are geared, you build them right, like I said, you can surprise a lot of people. It might not make the big dyno number like 900 or 1,000 or whatever his 19 ZR1 is making, but you run this car up against, some Mustangs and some Dodge Challengers and Hellcats and stuff with a tire on it that is, I think he'll be able to surprise a lot more people, even with it only being 750 rear-wheel horsepower, which is still insane. I think it made 750 something rear-wheel horsepower and well over 700 rear-wheel torque. Again, all in all, it's a great car. then I just short shifted into 4th gear to keep it rolling. See this Mustang wants to play. Little Ford GT. This thing spun its ass off. It don't even try to hook up with these tires on it. That Mustang did not stand a chance. I didn't even know he was getting on it.
Me neither.
I was pedaling it, and then I actually got out of it thinking he wasn't racing, and then he came back up, so I stood back in it. We put butt slinks on him. ZR1 or the C7 ZR1, or tell me about the C8. Y'all like Mike's twin turbo C8 we did for him. You know, those are 3 pretty cool builds we've done. I like the 19 ZR1. It's still one of my favorites. The twin turbo C8 we did for him, I think it will be one of my favorites once we get the transmission to hold, and we are still working on our tuning solution for it. Hopefully it'll be done soon, so we can turn Mike's up. And I think once we turn his C8 up to 800 plus rear-wheel horsepower, it's gonna be hard to beat that thing with the engine in the back. That thing would just dead hook and go. Again, guys, thanks for watching. As always, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and leave some comments below.